You're watching Let's with Ayuma.
Hey, I'm Ayuma Michelle, and welcome to Let's with Ayuma. This is an online safe space that I started to empower progressive women from all around the world to thrive with purpose. Welcome. So, in today's video, we are going to talk about how to stay still, how to be still in a hustle culture. Okay, I can't wait to dig into this. But before we go straight into it, you know what time it is? If you enjoyed watching my content so far and you're yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing so that you can easily access the next videos that come up as soon as I post them. And also, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Please watch this video and watch another one. And if you dig it, please do subscribe and share with a friend who you believe would really benefit from this content. Remember, as you are thriving and rising, make sure that your circle is also rising and thriving. Okay? So, today's topic is how to stay still. How to stay still, how to be still in a hustle culture. And obviously, for me to further dig deep and to actually explain further about this, I would need to tell you through a story. Story time! So, years ago, I was actually invited to be a panelist at this tech summit. It was called the Africa Women in Technology Summit. It must have been in 2018. And so I was invited to be a panelist of mentors. And obviously I was there in my capacity as coach and founder at Let's, because I work with lots of women in leadership. And also there was a heavy topic about leadership, women in leading in tech. As you know, technology, the tech space is heavily dominated by men. But over the years, there's been great progress made where there have more women who have access to tech opportunities, and some of these women happen to be some of my clients. So because I had that awareness in terms of leadership and also strategies and also mentorship, I was there on this panel. And so what happened is that after the panel session, there was a speed mentorship session where within sort of like 5 minutes, each panelist and also other women who were experts in the tech ecosystem and in leadership, we sat in a straight line on chairs. It was really cool. And then there would be other chairs on the opposite side, where there would be like speed, sort of like the same concept as speed dating, but this was speed mentoring, right? So there would be a woman who would come and sit with this person. You speak with them for maybe like 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, there would be a ringer, and then you change, you go to the next person, change, you go to the next person. So that means, like, let's say within an hour, you'd have spoken to a couple of experts for 5 minutes each, and you'd have gotten lots of advice from a variety of people. It's a very interesting concept, right? So during that time, I happened to have a conversation with an amazing woman. She was building a business in the natural hair care and beauty industry. And so she just started out. And so she was looking for advice on how to not only market, but also how to build her brand, especially in the tech space, or using tech solutions, right? So I had a conversation with her, and afterwards she told me, hey, I would actually like to discuss further with you. I like how you've really broken down this advice, and I would really want to understand further about, I would like to have more time with you as a mentor. So because I had an understanding of her business, at that time I was wearing my afro poof. So she got to understand that this is somebody who gets it and who would understand further. She would give mentorship from even a perspective of being a naturalista, right? So I was like, yeah, why not? And so I invited her to come for a 1 hour mentorship session at my office then, and so that we could have this conversation. And so what happened was that, she'd noticed my natural hair, she'd booked the time, and so she was able to particular target me as a mentor, and she knew that I would be able to understand her plight or her situation. And so I agreed, and we were able to meet on the day of. She came to my office, we had a sit down, I had amazing coffee for her, and I told her, so what would you like me to help with you with, right? Just a very straightforward question, because I was open. I was like, I have a wealth of information and experience, not only as a naturalista, but also somebody who understands the business side of it, and also somebody who understands the leadership side of it. So she went on. Things changed after I asked that question. From the moment I asked that question, she immediately started she started selling to me. And so I remember a couple of times trying to tell her, hey, this is a mentorship session. This is not a sales session. What would you like me to help you with right now? You only have 1 hour of my time. I had scheduled and made sure. At that time I was also a consultant for another company in the United States, in California. So I was doing my leadership and coaching work during the day, and so that after I finish those work hours, I would start on my other job. So I said, I only have 1 hour with you. Please tell me, how would you like me to help you? She still went on and started selling and asked questions about the products that I use and stuff like that, which were sulfate based. And without noticing that I'm there in my capacity as a mentor, not a client or a customer, she still went on and critiqued the type of products that I use, that why are you using sulfates? You should be using sulfate free, they're dangerous for you, and stuff like that. And she went on and on and on and on. I tried my level best to bring her back to understand that, by the way, my dear, I'm not here to fight you. I'm not here to make you feel like your products are not enough. I'm here to help you thrive. How can I help you build your business? How can I help you access those markets? How can I help you understand yourself better so that you can actually thrive in your business? And as you can imagine, 1 hour came to an end, and still she was selling to me. Why do I share with you this story? It's to help you understand and paint a picture of what hustle culture looks like and what hustle culture costs people, just like you and I, every single day. If you're new to understanding what hustle culture means, hustle culture is basically this widely accepted norm and societal norm that for you to be relevant, for you to be enough, and for you to get ahead in life and to be successful, you need to constantly be on the hustle, which means chasing your next paycheck, chasing the next opportunity, to even a point where you see people as tickets to opportunity. You don't see them as people. You literally dehumanize people to a point where you see people as, what's in it for me? What can you do for me? If you're not adding to my next paycheck, if you're not adding to my next net worth and stuff like that, then you're not worthy to me. Or not worthy, but you're not basically adding anything to me. And this is a very dangerous mindset. And I know that it's been really influenced by capitalism, but also the drive towards success, which is very materialistic. We see it all over on social media, where people are consistently posting, this is, I am worthy because now these are the kind of places I get to go. These are the kind of people I get to hang out with. This is, my recent gym body. This is my recent outfit. Like, it's all very materialistic. You're always chasing the next. And the danger of this is that you never really get to feel present. Even what you have feels like it isn't enough. And yet, the things and the life we are currently living, it was once something we used to wish for. It was once something we used to pray for. It was once something that when you're like, oh my goodness, if only I had this, then ... But here you are, you have it, but there isn't an element or essence of gratitude, right? There is a constant essence of, I'm missing out on something. I'm missing out on life. There is something that I'm yet to do. There's more out there for me, but what I have isn't enough. That is the danger of a hustle culture. And no matter how hard I tried to win back this lady and point her back to, hey, be present with me. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to chase you or push you or do whatever. I'm here to listen to you. and help you be a teacher along your journey, your beautiful, prosperous journey, to help you get to your next step. But because the hustle culture, she was relatively young, but because of the hustle culture, and she'd subscribed to the hustle culture, she wasn't able to understand what kind of environment this was. She wasn't able to understand the benefit of the 1 hour and how precious and valuable that 1 hour I gifted her with was what it was worth. She wasn't able to understand even the kind of work environment I was in, that I would have even easily connected her with fellow entrepreneurs on that ecosystem should she have asked, but she wasn't present, right? And also, she wouldn't have understood my capacity, the person who's right in front of you. Who is this person? And how can I learn from them so that I can learn how to grow my journey? She saw a customer instead of seeing a mentor or a connector to her next opportunities. So the reason why I wanted to speak with you about this is because right now we are on the post-pandemic phase. And because we are on the post-pandemic phase, we are seeing that lots of people are going through transitions, and lots of people are going through asking themselves questions like, what is my value in this particular ecosystem? What is my value in this environment? What is my value in the current marketplace, right? And many people are looking, those who are very intentional are getting to ask themselves, are having a check-in with their purpose and asking themselves, what is my purpose? And how can I translate that to value that is relevant in today's marketplace? And how can I best serve with my special sauce, right? So many people are in that phase where we realize that the world is different. It's no longer the same. And so we need to reinvent ourselves and market ourselves and position ourselves in the market that has pivoted countless times, but also so that we can offer value, right? But the greatest challenge is there seems to be this rat race towards success, towards money, towards relevance, right? But realize that for you to actually get to a place of significance, you don't just chase success. For you to get to a place of significance, you'll need to learn the art of being still. Quiet down. And why do I share this? It's because I've been speaking with clients, also women in my networks, who are in leadership spaces, in career, and even in career spaces, even as entrepreneurs or actual employed consultants or employees. And it seems that everyone seems to be a little bit stressed about why aren't things working out? The things that used to work out really well, suddenly they are not working out. And it's not necessarily before COVID, even during COVID, but now that we are in the post-pandemic phase, there are things that used to work during the pandemic that are no longer working at ease. And I know it can feel so overwhelming. It can feel like, how many times have I pivoted? I can also raise my hand to that. If you've pivoted so many times to a point where you're like, oh my goodness, I have to do this one more, realize that chasing that next client, chasing that next paycheck, chasing that next contract, chasing that next deal is not the answer. The answer is in being still. Gift yourself with the opportunity of being still during this season, because that's when you will first and foremost learn about yourself. Do you realize you've evolved? Do you realize you have actually evolved? There are things which no longer work for you. There are things which now work for you. How will you learn that if you don't take a time to be still? Do you realize that your clients might have actually shifted? The clients you used to easily communicate with and connect with, do you realize that they too have evolved? Do you realize that they might have evolved out of being your ideal client, and that there's a certain target audience that has now evolved to being your ideal target client? Do you realize that there are some contracts that are no longer relevant to you? But do you also realize that there are some contracts which are selling like hotcake right now for people just like you? Do you realize also the beauty of being still and listening to the inner voice within you that says, does this serve you anymore? Does this job serve you anymore? Does this business serve you anymore? Does working in person work for you anymore? Does remotely working work for you anymore? Not until you take time to be still will you get the answers. It's not in chasing your next best opportunity. It's in being still and having those very honest conversations with yourself, but also allowing those very honest convictions within yourself, giving them space. Imagine these convictions. You're holding a seat. You're saying, please have a seat, conviction about my work situation. Please have a seat, conviction about my relationship life. Please have a seat, conviction about my work life, not even balance, my work life, what is it called? Integration. Is your work taking over your personal life? And even your health. Please take a seat. My conviction about health. How are we doing? How are we honestly feeling about this particular situation? Please have a seat. My conviction about finances. Are we doing well or are we not doing well? Or could we do way better than this? Not until you afford yourself that quiet time of stillness, trusting that you are exactly where you need to be still and learn and pay attention to the convictions, to your inner voice, to catch up with your evolved self so that you can make the best next decision. You're not chasing. It's about choice. It's about choosing what influences you, not a paycheck, not fashion and design, not what people are doing on social media, but truly when you come to a place of purpose, like I spoke in my previous video, I'll link it above. Please bring yourself to a place of purpose and have those honest conversations with yourself. What influences your best next step is your purpose, because that's why you have breath of life today. That's why you've been preserved to be alive today. Ask yourself, what is my best next step? You will realize that it's worlds apart from what you're seeing on social media, from what your stress is telling you, from what your chase of money is telling you, from what even some of your peers are doing. Please gift yourself with that opportunity. Why is it important? Let me bring it back to that meeting, the 1 hour meeting I had with this young lady. While hustle culture was teaching us and teaching her to keep chasing no matter what is right in front of you, when you get to a place of stillness, when you stop and be still, quiet all of the external voices and just listen to your conviction, you will get to notice the goal that is right in front of you. Most of the times the answers are right in front of you, but you miss them. Why? Because you're chasing the next deal, you're chasing the next whatever, you're chasing. Yet the best answer for you is always right in front of you, but only in stillness will you get to see it. You will get to see things like, back in that 1 hour meeting, who is this person or these people in front of you or the people around you? Are they people you can pitch to, or are they people you need to listen to and ask very good questions, right? And because you have the good questions, you will even prepare these good questions in advance, not literally when you're in the meeting, because you will notice, wow, this is a mentor, not a customer. What questions do I need to ask somebody who is in her position? You will then get to go online, do research about this person called Ayuma, get to look at the kind of people she knows, and then you'll be able to draft the right questions to ask Ayuma, right? Who are the people right in front of you, and who are the people around you, right? And what kind of questions can you ask them to learn from them? You can never go wrong by being willing to learn. And people always love talking about themselves and sharing from their journeys. So when you're looking for mentorship and answers, sometimes it's always best to just listen by and also ask the right questions, very good questions. Another thing is, which environment am I in, right? So sometimes you're not in a marketplace. Sometimes you're in a network space, right? So if that lady took time to notice that, by the way, this is not a place where I can sell my products, my natural hair care products, she would notice, hey, this is an entrepreneur ecosystem. And because it's an entrepreneur ecosystem, and by asking the right questions, she could have even asked, who do you think exists in this particular ecosystem that is in maybe the natural hair care ecosystem, that I would like to interview them about some of the challenges they are facing and some of the best places that maybe some of the innovations and tech innovations that they're using, so that I can also get into this space. You see the importance of understanding the environment? I would have been able gladly to invite her or connect her with somebody in the beauty space or natural hair care space that I actually do know. Some of them are literal personal friends. I would have invited them to meet with these people and learn from them, right? So is this a space of connection? Is this a space of marketing? Is this a space of learning? Notice your environment. Also, she would have noticed the opportunity right in front of her. The opportunity wasn't to sell. The opportunity was to learn and connect, right? She would have also understood the value. What value am I getting from this 1 hour? What is the greatest value I can get from this 1 hour? Is it knowledge? Is it support? Is it insight? Is it user experience? From somebody like me who's a natural hair care buyer, maybe she would have gotten to my experience. What still makes me buy sulfates? She would have then gotten to know it's from my regimen. My regimen requires that because I have lots of product buildup and low porosity hair, that's why I use sulfates, which is actually quite okay to use, right? She would have gotten to know that stuff, right? And why I buy big in these particular spaces, right? So also another thing, she would have gotten to know the message. What message is critical in this particular space, right? Is it a message of natural hair care, beauty and empowerment, young women getting to build businesses, young women leading businesses, it could have been about anything, but she would have gotten to know what message is relevant to Ayuma that I can connect with, that can help us build an awesome connection in terms of mentorship. So what message is she tapping into? Is it the natural hair care revolution? Is it about inclusive beauty? Is it about health? Because she was really talking a lot about sulfates. What health and what data can you bring to me and tell me why not use sulfates? Or why use sulfates? Or if it's a matter of health, what are the dangers of using sulfates? And can you give me data, actual data, not just an opinion? Give me data that can help me make an informed decision, right? So what exactly is the message that you can tap into and invite people to engage with you on, even in terms of mentorship? Also, she would have gotten to know the right questions to ask. What is the right question to ask here? From the background information I've done about this mentor called Ayuma, and now that I'm in this space, what is the best question to ask? It's a matter of just understanding all of those things, the environment, understanding the message, understanding the opportunity, the value. All of these things helps you come up with the right questions to ask when you have an hour with somebody who said yes to mentoring you, right? Also, she would have gotten to understand the resources. Which are the right resources you can tap into to actually make the best, of the current situation that you're in? Which resources? Is it that you want to connect with fellow entrepreneurs in the natural hair care and beauty space? Is it that you want to tap into communities of natural hair care people, which I'm actually part of? Is it that you want to tap into communities so that you can ask questions, you can go and do maybe market research, Or is it a business development issue? Can I connect you with a marketing expert, or a branding expert? Is it a leadership issue? Self-leadership, that you're battling with leading yourself, So with understanding the resources that you need, then obviously by being more present, you'd be able to notice the resources around you which you can tap into. And lastly, but not least, time. If she noticed that she only had 1 hour with me, which I've gifted from my schedule, which by the way would have gone to my business or my other job, she would have understood the value of 1 hour. Before, I gave her 5 minutes, and I was able to multiply that 5 minutes into 1 hour, right? And I'm so sure that if she was still and noticed that I have 1 hour with this person who can give me access to these resources, questions answered, environment, and all of that stuff, she would have made the best of it instead of trying to sell to somebody like me for 1 hour, which, as you can guess, she never sold anything. The 1 hour, no, I did not give her more time, and that 1 hour went into me consistently. I was actually ended up feeling very frustrated because I was like, why are you trying to sell to me without even truly understanding me and doing the background research? Okay, so if you get to understand this, you will get to understand the importance of being still. When you're still, that frustration will also not come to you. That frustration will not drive you to keep chasing. When you're still, you will understand that you're right where you need to be for a reason, for a purpose. And some of these things that I've just shared with you could be things you could ask yourself. In my stillness, who are the people around me? What environment am I currently in, or what environments do I currently occupy? What opportunities are around me? What value do I possess that I can give? Or what value can I receive? What message am I feeling particularly very passionate about that I would like to tap into and build on and grow? What questions can I ask on this current state that I am in that can deliver me to my next best opportunities? Which resources can I tap into or explore to help me grow? And what time investment, with this time that I have right now, how can I invest it in my next best person? Because we are currently living in duality. There's the you who you are right now, and there's the future person who you're going to be, who you need to define. Is she healthier? Is she more wealthy? Is she having more freedom in terms of her time management? Whatever that looks like, when you're still, you'll get to define what that next best person, successful or more significant person, is like. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. That's all I have for you. But please comment below and let me know. Are you in a current situation where you feel like you are being pushed to subscribe to hustle culture? Or are you bold enough? Have you been bold enough to say no to hustle culture and tap into your stillness? Whichever answer is okay. I'd also like to learn from you ladies, because I'm in the same environment with you ladies. I'm also consistently always receiving this message about hustle culture, about all of this stuff, and I'm consistently reminding myself, I need to constantly remind myself to be still and notice all of these things. Please comment below and let me know what you think, what your experience has been, and what I could also learn from you. Okay? And also, if you're currently in a space where you're battling, you don't know, you don't have clarity about what's your next best step, what is all that, in terms of a challenge, in terms of even your leadership or storytelling, please send me an email at info@letsfindyourstory.com or a 45-minute discovery call where I could help you iron out, get you clarity on your current challenge, and so that if I'm the right coach to work with you, we would get to work on a particular project together, or also I could point you to somebody who could actually help you out. Okay? So remember, this is Let's with Ayuma, an online safe space that I started to empower progressive women from all around the world to thrive with purpose. And indeed, by not chasing the hustle culture, but by being still and staying grounded in our purpose so that it can point us to our true north. Okay? Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.